Alrighty. Maybe we won't screw around too much with the camera angles, but it's available to us.
Yeah.
Gotta let me know if you're gonna go on a tirade or a rant or...
Yeah, you'll probably see it.
Arizona is a wildly beautiful place, brimming with over 100 brewing companies. I'm Rob Fulmer, the Executive Director of the Arizona Craft Brewers Guild. I'm joined by Deputy Director Andrew Bauman. Together we cover the state, bringing you the best of what's happening at our breweries and beyond. Welcome to Arizona Beer Frontier.
Oh, it's on. Hey.
Yeah.
Hey, Rob.
Andrew Bauman.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you again.
Look at us at the office. Came back from an important talk today.
Good.
And, man, so much.
All right. Well, let's not talk about these beers.
Okay.
Let's talk about these beers.
We don't talk about beers. That's not what we do.
I know, but we have to tell people what we're drinking. I haven't actually seen this can, by the way. This is definite departure in their logoing. This is Saddle Mountain Clandestine. They have a tail dragger craft beer, and it was more of an airplane thing, and now it's a little bit more. I don't know. It looks like me smoking a cigarette as a skull. I don't
think I looked that close to it. Yeah. This is Huh. It's yeah. Tail dragger. That's what they like. Yeah. Sub brand. Like,
hold that up to the camera there. Yeah. That's definitely a fedora.
Great. I'll let you have your beer back. Nice to share. Thank you.
What do you have?
I've got 8-Bit Aleworks Black Mage. It's a 7.3%.
Is this like our tribute to the West Valley? Is that?
It is, apparently. I don't know. I looked in the fridge. I had one of these, and I thought, let's do it. I have some of these Black Mage at my house, too. I think I got them at a pickup during pandemic when 8-Bit went over to Beer Research. And a pre-sale.
Yeah.
I think I bought some of those. And we're drinking out of our brand new cups.
From Audubon.
Yeah. Oh, on my camera.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry.
There it is.
No, it's not. There we go.
There it is. Audubon.
Right on.
Camera fun. Okay. Great. Okay. I like stouts.
What's on our agenda today to talk about?
Well, we have the Audubon thing that we did today. We have Barrels, Bottles, and Brews recap real quick.
I don't know how much we'll talk about. We have a meeting in the afternoon with our legislative friends, allies.
The alcohol working group. I just made that up.
Yeah. No,
sounds right.
Our industry stakeholders meeting is what we generally call that.
Great.
So I
Let's talk first.
I poured too hard.
I did too. I think it's because we didn't pre-rinse these brand new cups, and there's probably a whole bunch of Chinese sand in there or something. But look at us, just powering through.
Right.
Hey, let's talk about Barrels, Bottles, and Brews since we already mentioned it.
Yeah, this is a festival that has been run by the wonderful people at Salt River Fields. It's one of the reasons why their resume was so impressive when they came to us, and
we're interested in hosting Strong Beer Fest.
Yes.
Partnering more than anything.
Yeah. And so it started out, it still kind of remains, but as featuring Arizona beers, Arizona spirits, and Arizona wines. And the wine thing was mostly a handful of, if you're thinking wine grapes, I know that those folks are struggling right now. And so guess what else is wine?
Mead.
Cider.
Yeah.
And, like
mead and cider, they're both there.
I think 5-ish years ago, no one was talking about seltzers or those kinds of products, but we had some of those.
Yeah, we had the pure tequila soda. That was pretty tasty. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Oso.
Yeah.
Oso had their seltzer,
Yep.
their whiskey,
Yep.
and their beer.
Yeah.
So that was pretty nice.
And Huss had their
Ranch water.
But there was a newly minted operation from Payson.
Oh yeah, what, below the rim?
Yeah.
Yeah, below the rim meadery, and they had how many meads available?
I think 14
A
or
full dozen, at least a dozen.
yeah. I didn't. Did you get any pictures of their keg system? I might have some on the B-roll.
No,
They had really tiny, I don't know, 2-gallon kegs.
Oh,
stackable.
nice.
It was all like,
stackable.
it seemed like they were all stacked up behind like what you would say is the tower.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to. We should have done an autopsy on that.
yeah. I have some nice little
Track them down.
1.75 corny kegs and 2-gallon corny kegs as well. 2.5-gallon corny kegs. They're nice.
Yeah, these were not corny. I mean, well, actually, they had corny fittings, but they seemed to have this really rigid chime on it. Like, maybe I'm just making this up.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I've seen them, and
Because
it's a homebrew product.
a homebrew corny keg, some of them don't have that.
A full chime.
That the chime
Rim
is
around the top.
the rim with the handles, or it's rubberized. But
Mm-hmm.
this looked like rolled,
Yes.
brushed, very aesthetically pleasing.
I want to say it's by More Beer.
Yeah, could be. The
Anyways.
technology on stuff
Yeah,
is
so amazing.
incredible.
They had homebrewers making beer there,
Yeah, they did. Brews 602.
which is collaborating with Patent 139.
That's a lot of numbers.
Yeah. So Patent 139 system is almost ready, and Brewery 602 is running through their first runs with them to make sure everything gets made right.
They had they did a collaboration with Simple Machine. Yeah, yeah. So, it's in it's in the center field grounds. Is
Behind center field.
Yeah, it was a little tighter this year because they're setting up for a massive Christmas light show.
Right.
But I don't think anyone really cared because the weather was so great, plenty of shade.
Gorgeous. More shade like per square foot than there would have been if we were in that backside.
Yeah, yeah. Any other things that you remember?
Well, I remember that tons of people came and bought tickets
Yeah,
for
they
strong
did.
beer.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was going to be working that hard all day.
Well,
It never stopped, which is great.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
I
yeah.
just didn't expect it. It was very cool and met some nice people.
for sure. Yeah. Different crowd. Right?
Different crowd. Yeah.
I mean, just
think
people that we normally reach. is what I'm saying.
One reason probably because of that nice giant screen along the freeway there.
Oh yeah, yeah. If you're on the 101, going north or south in Scottsdale,
Via de Ventura.
you will see the sign. And if you are not able to see that sign, it will be on our video edition of this show.
Oh, great.
Just look for us, Arizona Beer Frontier, or go to the Guild YouTube page. Very easy to find. I have some shots of the sign. I think I have some AZB3, as we call it.
Yeah.
Arizona Barrels, Bottles, and Brews. I have some footage of that sign and then also the strong beer sign.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I think that's one reason is that they saw, oh, there's a beer festival here. We don't usually go to beer festivals. It includes wine and spirits. Cool. Let's
Right.
go. And probably not really in the loop of beer festivals happening. So
Yeah. Yeah. I had some friends visit, friends of friends. Never met them. I know them on Twitter. And they were asking me questions about Phoenix. I'm like, look, it's a big city and there are no natural barriers. Yet there are bubbles that exist.
there's only man-made canyons like I-17.
Freeways. Yeah. They were freaked out about the size and shape of our regular streets that are basically highways. And
Yeah. I mean, our regular roads are 45 miles an hour all day, every
Right.
day.
It's not uncommon for
Everywhere.
someone to be going 60, 65 on one of those roads.
Yeah. And they're all divided. Okay. Speaking from the Gilbert Chandler area, like most of them have medians
Yeah.
on your regular city streets. Every mile is another one. It's all a grid. It's awesome.
Anyway,
It's so nice.
They went. I mean, I don't want to get off. I'm getting off.
I went off subject. You get back to your friends and they freaked out.
Yeah, no. They spent time in Sedona and they went to all the places, right? I mean, the 2 breweries, and they had a wonderful time. And they got excited. They went into Cottonwood, sent them to a winery too. They went to that. They loved that brewery. They loved it. I mean, they just were the atmosphere and how laid back it was, and enjoyed the beers. They were in the beer industry. They were selling beer in Manhattan, and now they're selling educational things. Weird stat: 1 in every 300 people in America is currently enrolled at a New York City public school.
Wow. That is bizarre to even think about.
Yeah, it's just like all it is.
A million.
All you're saying is it's a million, but it's a weird way to
The New York City
think about
public schools have 1 million people enrolled. That's a lot.
enrolled, not yeah. So anyway, they went there, and I'm bringing this all back. I met them at Rent House, and they were like, this reminds us of everywhere we go in the they're from upstate New York now. And they were staying at Tapatio Cliffs, and they kind of wandered into North Mountain, and I said, well, yeah, that's a village. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, that's how it started, but it still has that feel, because there are some clues that this is
its own
kind of
place.
I said a lot of people, it doesn't come up. I'm glad they went. They had a great time there too.
Up in the slope.
And they were asking me like, why was there like a Filipino entrees? I'm like, well, you should have had them, because you don't see that very often in breweries, do you? Yeah. So they had a good time. But I told them they missed this festival, and they were disappointed, but can't do everything, as we said last week.
No.
Can't do everything.
And you can't go back in time. you can only look forward to the next thing.
We had another topic, didn't we?
That was Barrels, Bottles, and Brews.
Yeah.
Now we're going to talk about water.
Yeah.
We had our Arizona Water Security Forum today.
Yeah.
Where representatives from the Central Arizona Project, SRP, various government agencies, and the Arizona or the South Audubon of the Southwest.
Yes. Let's take a quick break.
Oh.
And we can
jump in
knock
after
out
that.
the show.
Sounds good.
Finish it off.
Yeah.
Keep it going.
Oh, get me on the camera.
Oh. Look at that transition. That's all you wanted to do?
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, we're back.
Yeah.
Good job.
Thanks.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll talk about the Western Rivers Brewers Council.
Sure.
This is how Audubon of the Southwest and Audubon, Arizona. Whoops. I don't think it's Arizona anymore because they combined with New Mexico. Anyways, Audubon Southwest brought together a bunch of breweries who are concerned about water usage, and they made a collab beer. And they got together and talked about Sinagua malting. You want to get into that a little bit?
Yeah, we could touch on it. But,
Okay. So
it's the Audubon Society is birds, right? But it's all the things that sustain birds.
yeah,
Right?
It's a lot of nature.
Yeah.
A lot of
well, it's in water is something that we share in common as human beings, but also our business.
Yes.
We really need high quality, good water, right?
Oh, so much info.
Yeah.
That's not going to do any good on the screen.
That's all right. No, it's fine. So they invited us to participate, not be on a panel, but listen to some policy people talk about the status of water. It was a lot, and it was kind of wonkish because it's mostly about who's getting grants and where the money is being spent. So it's a little abstract for just regular people like us sometimes. But they had some heavy hitters in there. They had people from ADEQ, environmental quality,
Arizona Water Resources.
Yeah.
All the alphabet soup of Arizona government.
Somebody from Gila River, and the Indian community, Native community, has contributed their water share, a good chunk of it, to reduce the amount of water that everybody else has to cut back on, because as we discussed a few episodes back or a few months back, we're a part of a multi-state dependence on the Colorado River, and we are not able to have as much water as other states, and so we had to contribute more savings. It's unfair, I think. I think
they were pushing back against that pretty hard.
I know it, but for the time being, that's what we have to do until those matters get resolved, and none of us has that kind of a 30,000 to weed through that right now. But they were on
a lot of funding for the new water initiatives and water initiatives, but also conserving water stuff is coming from the Inflation Reduction Act.
Yeah.
$4 billion going to water in the Western U.S.
Yeah. And I don't remember all pieces of the 6-point plan, but one of them was to protect. There's a different surface water, there's lakes and rivers. Groundwater is. There were measures to keep the current standards in place. We obviously know that there are some operations here in Arizona that are funded from foreign governments that are taking more of their fair share of water through some sort of loophole. They're looking to ameliorate that, make sure that doesn't become part of a future for us. Without throwing any names around, that's one focus. It's conservation, but more importantly, conservation. You reach a limit, and so it's coming up with a plan to
the new water district.
Yeah.
Douglas, right?
Douglas has formed a water district. Wilcox was looking at it. It did not pass.
These were propositions.
Yeah. There is a lot of controversy over them locally. I think it's interesting because I hear conversations from some constituencies, and they're like, we have to stop these because that's the way they're going to tell us that we can't grow grapes or that we can't grow crops, or my land will be worthless if I don't execute on some of these water things. If I don't race to get the water, if I don't dig a deep well, then I'm going to be out of luck. And
because there's a grandfather clause.
Well, and there are others that are saying, well, this is the format that we use to sort of pull together these agreements. So I don't know the answer to that. Mm-hmm. And so we just have to pay attention. If I lived there, if I had a business there, I'd have to really weigh the pros and cons and talk with my neighbors and figure this out. But as we were down there and we discussed, people are, legitimately upset that the people are with more resources are digging deeper wells, and
we have the Wallapai Conservation District that is being proposed right now by Kingman. Mm-hmm. So that's a new one too, where they said no new agriculture.
Yeah,
and that for my brain, it's so hard to wrap my brain around that. We can have no more agriculture. Whew. It's desperate times, but
yeah. As we mentioned, and we'll mention again, residential customers, business cultures, and business entities in a metropolitan area are not as impacted as much. It is going to be rural agriculture that feels the brunt of this, and we all have to understand what that means if we were to lose that, or potentially lose it. So it's important to pay attention. And I don't have the answers. I can't say, well, this has to happen, this has to happen, this has to happen.
I don't even think the people on the stage had the answers.
No,
So
no.
you work in a completely different industry.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
tangentially related, but the people on stage didn't have the answers either. They're still trying to work through it and working a lot with private industry who can be a little more creative than necessarily the bureaucrats
100%.
in the alphabet soup.
Yeah. There was a policy person from Senator Sinema's office who gave an overview, and it kind of finished with the soon-to-be former Speaker of the House, Rusty Bowers, who's famous for all other kinds of reasons. And man, he was
he was on fire on stage there today.
I mean, as much as a very measured, deliberate speaking person, like he was just like slow burn, and then he just kind of on fire a little bit. And I don't know, this is before both of our times, and certainly there is a lot of far right politics in Barry Goldwater's life, but Barry Goldwater cared about Arizona. There's no two ways about that, and he was a conservationist. He ran for presidential office and is the godfather of, I don't want to say right wing, but those kinds of conservative politics. But that's kind of the mold that I now see Rusty Bowers in. And he talked about his own properties and how he's conserving and
he catches rainwater off his roof.
And he made allusions to the fact that, he believes in the changing climate, which is not something a lot of people in Arizona as politicians are
say out loud for sure.
Yeah. And he told some stories about his experience in Israel and Kazakhstan to understand water. And, that can be a little bit politically charged because you're introducing another type of culture and, I don't know, a couple thousand years of conflict, but strip all that away. And his message is we need to treat water more of a cultural context and have more respect for it and use it wisely and take pride in the conservation and doing the right thing. So
he got rid of his lily pad pond, which he used to use for meditation because it wasn't sustainable.
Yeah.
And also cautioned that water coming from the Gulf of Baja, what's it called?
Gulf of Sea of California, I guess, right?
If we build a desalination plant in Mexico, that water has to travel to Arizona. And depending on the political climate here or there, that might not be a super stable thing.
Yeah.
And just...
Right now, the cost of water is not the actual physical
water itself. Yeah.
Water. It is, you're paying for the efficiency of its travel. In an urban area, you have a newer water system and there's much more reclamation. In rural areas, systems are older and there is zero recapture of water that goes into the ground. There isn't the wastewater treatment. You lose water through the products sometimes, like because they leave the state. And so desalination plants are a much more costly way to deliver water. And, I think urban areas are able to absorb those costs. Rural areas will not. Desalination. I know why they say desal is not generally regarded as a problem-solving solution to
a long-term issue
for rural farming or farming in general. It prices them out.
Yeah.
And, he made the suggestion that maybe we should pay more for water.
Maybe we should pay the actual cost of water instead of how it's mostly subsidized right now anyways.
I think intellectually, as a resident, you're like, sure, why not? As a business, it's a little bit of a mystery. But I think having some awareness. I mean, I'm sure there's Plenty of restaurants have no idea how much water they're using. There's ice machines that are just making ice and melting it, and it's going down the drain day after day after day.
But as you said, like most of those are urban, and most of that water's getting recaptured anyways. But
you're paying
it
for
is
it.
a waste.
If you pay for it as that, you can be damn sure that they're going to save that meltwater and do something with it.
Right.
If they're going to pay the true cost.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, super interesting.
Woo.
Let's drink some water out of these fine barley products.
Yeah. Oh, man. I suppose we should have had one of the Sinagua malt beers to
do we have any of those?
strengthen that. No.
Oh, well.
Oh, I didn't look in this cooler. No.
Yeah, that cooler needs a retooling.
Yeah.
There's a small beer cooler that we often forget there's beer in.
Woo.
We got to work on that.
I don't even want to look at the dates on those cans, man.
We usually have a holiday party.
I think they were
here.
pre-me.
We usually have a holiday party here, and we refresh that up. But I don't think we're going to do that. Maybe in December we'll do something. Just a little. Maybe this will be cleaned up a little bit more. You know, we can host some of our industry friends here.
I think that's a great goal. Let's work
goal.
on that. It is. It's a great goal. Let's work on that. Let's do it. Let's figure it out. I could clean out my garage, and then some of these boxes could go in my garage. That's possible.
Are we done here? Holy cow! I have the total Asian flush. I am really super red.
Huh? No, it's the camera.
Is it?
You're not that red.
But
look how pale I am.
You look yellow.
I know. I'm telling you, that's not the color representation is not quite accurate. Also, look at the color of the hop. It's like pure blue, and over there, it's not.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
all right.
We're done. We were done.
Okay, we're done.
Right?
Hey, Rob, thanks for hanging out today. Thanks for sharing all that info with our friends.
Thanks.
Yeah.
You have a tagline? I like this tagline on this brochure. That's why I asked you to bring it over. Because I do say this. This is a saying.
Oh, yes.
The first part is a saying, and it's not our tagline, but the first part is a saying that you hear if you're talking about water issues, and it is, whiskey is for drinking and water is for fighting over. So they have changed it to, if whiskey is for drinking and water is for fighting over, then craft beer is for bringing people together. I like that. That's nice. That's great. So, cheers. I'll edit out all this weird banter.
Okay, if you want, or leave it.
Or I'll leave it.
Bye.
Bye. Now you were like looking in the refrigerator.
From the Chuskas to the Chiricahuas to the Yumas to the Surbats and every mountain range in between, all across this state there are enormous values in people. The diversity, the education, the experience. There is nothing that we can't do. I include with faith in God, but that's not requisite for every belief, but that we can, when we respect each other, when we endeavor with our true and best selves to serve each other and our country. And I don't mean the United States. I mean when you're coming back to Arizona from somewhere else and you look down on the valley, or you start seeing a saguaro cactus, or you come across the border, you feel, I'm back in my country, Arizona country. And I'm so pleased. I just have 4 generations, and Mr. Sosi and Blackwater Nigran have a few hundred more. But what a marvel it is to be part of the tapestry of Arizona that surrounds us in this room, that blesses the back wall. What a marvel. I say, Arizona, Arizona, the only state in the Union. And I thank you all for letting me serve. It might not be the last time if we have a special, so we'll have to kind of review this. But I thank you all for letting me serve as your speaker. I've tried to serve with dignity and respect and a bit of good humor for this institution that I love so much. And I thank you very much, Arizona, and to my colleagues here.